Today's film begins in ancient China with an emperor called Wang Ari. He is promoting a detective named D. So he gave him a soldjana called the Dragon Fighter, which is a very special scepter. Because it is made of a metal stronger than gold, which makes Detective D the second most powerful character after the Emperor. The Emperor was annoyed by the matter and refused to let Di obtain that weapon. On that status, the Emperor told her that he trusted him a lot. However, she remained adamant in her opinion. So she summoned another detective named Yoshi. He is a friend of Detective D. She asked him to steal the scepter from him, and Yoshi agreed to that, but on the condition that she not execute him. Because the penalty for losing that scepter is death. The Emperor agreed to his condition, and then summoned a group of magicians. And who are led by a person called Wantai. They are the Sword Ghost, the Kiyoshi Ghost, and the Flying Smoke. In addition to the Water Moon, in order to help Yoshi steal the scepter. The next morning, the Bureau of Investigation learned that a mysterious crime had taken place last night. So that the house of the painter Lung was robbed, so to set out with his assistants in order to investigate it. At that moment, the ghost band Kiyoshi and the Water Moon appeared. They were waiting for them to leave the office in order to enter it, while the Water Moon was watching the place. Suddenly she saw a strange logo appearing on the ground. Then he disappeared again. I was very surprised by it. After that, the investigator and his team arrived at the painter's house and began investigating the case. At the same time, Phantom Kiyoshi and Water Moon crept into DS' room. And they began to search for the scepter. While the investigator and his team were still continuing their investigation, suddenly they find the stolen painting. It is hidden in the same room. Detective D knew it was just a ruse to distract them. In order to keep them away from the investigation office, he started running as fast as he could towards the office. At the same time, the ghost Kiyoshi and the Water Moon were still searching until they finally found the scepter, but it turned out to be forged, and they fell into the trap set by D. The free woman heard the sound and started running as fast as they could towards the room. But once they arrived, they never found anything, so the Empress got angry with Yoshi because his plan had failed. She made Huntai lead the group instead. Then I went to an abandoned dungeon located outside the city, in which only one man was mad. He is a former minister who had predicted that there would be a rebellion inside the palace. But no one listened to my advice until the rebellion actually took place and the new emperor imprisoned him alone in that dungeon. He was subjected to severe torture until he became dubbed without a face. The Empress went to him because she was consulting on a plan that would enable her to seize power on her own. He told her that the only way was to take over the investigation office. The next morning, she told Chartois' aides that the people who tried to steal the scepter would do so again. But this time the attack will be open. While Shatha was wandering in the market, it appeared that the Water Moon was observing it, and at that moment she saw the same mysterious design again. Suddenly, a group of mysterious people appeared watching Chartois and trying to use their magic on him in order to be able to take over his mind. At the last moment, Detective D came, disguised as a villager. And he saved him. Tell him he is being watched. He asked him to go back to his room as quickly as possible and to read the note left for him in the box. And Ban reads the note left for him in the box. In India, wind warriors who practice magic of possession, so that they can control minds through that magic. They had helped the late emperor to be able to rule, but he no longer trusted them and imprisoned them. while some of them fled and disappeared completely. And the appearance of his symbol from the nose of the city means that they are planning something. Especially since the Empress began to behave very strangely, and at the same time, while Yoshi was remembering the words that he had told him, he discovered that he was hiding in those words the place where the scepter was hidden, because he trusted him very much. He asked him to protect him if something happened. Indeed, he found the scepter while it was hidden in the place that indicated it, so he protected it and did not hand it over to the Empress. Then the Empress brought his companions in order for them to perform some shows for the Emperor's pleasure, but the Emperor did not enjoy it and told them that it was just a normal trick. Suddenly, he lost control of his skill, as if someone began to control those skills, so everyone felt terrified, and suddenly a very huge dragon appeared in the hall. So that dragon killed the ghost, Kiyoshi, and the flying smoke. Then he ran away from the palace, and at that moment Yoshi discovered that Huntai had disappeared from the hall. When he ran after him, he saw that there was a person who looked exactly like him. He killed the palace guards and then fled from the place, so they accused Yoshi and arrested him. The Emperor got angry a lot and summoned the investigator D to solve this issue. When Lee hears everything that happened, he learns that the mysterious clan has begun to implement their plan. So he asked Shitoa to go as fast as he could to the teacher and forget in a temple because he had already fought them before. He is the only one who knows how to stop them, so he devised a plan to get rid of the surveillance they placed on them, and to get out of the investigation office without being caught. Meanwhile, the water moon was also still watching the office. But suddenly the members of the Wind Warriors attacked her and wanted to kill her. But she managed to escape while she was seriously injured. Fortunately for her, Shotu found her, so he hid her at the last moment. Then he treated her wounds. As soon as she regained consciousness, he set off to carry out the task assigned to him by Hardy, and at the same time, D arrived at the hall where the accident occurred. And he began to investigate until he learned that everything that happened was just a matter of time. Everyone was deceived because their minds were so possessed that the dragon statue was hidden under the throne seat. So he went to get Detective Yoshi out of prison. He told him all about the Wind Warriors and that they pull incredible tricks to make everyone crazy. He sees very strange creatures and things. But it is just an illusion, which explains everything that happened inside the hall, so they completed the search until they found a body, which was a bakery in the Emperor's chariot. At that moment, Detective D learned that the accused was one of the sorcerers. He wanted to blame Huan Tai and that the Emperor's life was in danger. At the same time, the Empress once again went to visit the Faceless, angry that her plan would not succeed. So he attacked her and tried to kill her. At the last moment, Jua Yoshi, the investigator, accompanied by the Emperor, arrived and saw that she was under the influence of delusion. So they told her that Faceless had died 2 years ago, after which her activity reached a temple, but he only found a huge gorilla. The moment he was taken to another completely strange world. And when he got out of it, he saw that he had taken something out with him. At the same time, I intend to take the Emperor and his wife to the investigation office, in perfect order to be protected there. Then Shitoa arrived and told him that the teacher Yuanse was in seclusion. He will not come, but he brought with him a text called Delongi. It will help him face magic. Then the clan chief learned that the Emperor had regained consciousness and got rid of the magic of possession. So their plan completely failed. And now he must find the Emperor in order to kill him, and at that moment the ghost Kiyoshi appeared while she was still alive. So I told them that the only place where the emperor could be was the chief investigation office to attack him. The next morning, when he woke me up, he knew that they would not be able to defeat the Wind Warriors without Master Yuan's help. This is because he has very high skills. So he decided to go there himself, to persuade him to help them. But he was active and suggested that he ask the water moon to help them in that, and indeed the water moon agreed to go on this mission. In the meantime, they distributed Nesdalonki to all the guards, to keep it well. The next morning, the guards noticed something strange, because the fog is very thick. However, they were well prepared. Suddenly, they heard a frightening sound around them, then a very huge creature appeared and attacked them. But Detective D ordered them all to start reading the text. Indeed, they managed to destroy the illusion, after which the Wind Warriors appeared and attacked the office. The guards started fighting with them, but to no avail. This was because their leader was using possession magic, and he made the guards enter into illusion every time, so the ghost Kyosh took advantage of the opportunity and infiltrated the hiding place where the emperor was. Once she was inside, she discovered that she had fallen into a trap set by Emperor Yoshi, who was not there in the first place. So he started fighting with her until he managed to defeat her. At the same time, the clan chief began to show his true strength, until he managed to steal the Surgan, and at the last moment, the teacher Yuanzi appeared and took it from him. Then they started fighting with each other. There, it appeared that Master Yuanzi was very powerful, so he asked the clan leader to stop this hatred. But he refused and used his own weapon on him. And the moment he thought he had won, he also put the same weapon on his head and started pressing him bit by bit and was going to blow his head off. Until the teacher Yuanzi told him that the only way to save himself was to expel the evil that was inside his heart, and indeed that was what the clan leader did until both of them were freed from that weapon and all the clan members surrendered. In the end, everyone returned to their normal lives.